All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a massive, fundamental shift in how we actually understand human behavior. While our digital profiles usually offer this carefully curated, idealized narrative of our lives, our real-world physical movements, the actual steps we take every single day, well, they tell the unfiltered story of who we really are.
Okay, let's dive into this. Are you really who you say you are online? Because let's be honest, there's usually a huge discrepancy between what we claim on the internet, our aspirational selves, and our actual, grounded human behavior. You might follow a dozen fitness influencers and claim a deep interest in marathon running, but your actual daily routine might involve a lot more streaming services from the couch. That gap between digital fiction and physical reality is exactly what we are going to bridge today by looking at the data trails we leave behind.
So, let's kick off with Section 1, the anonymous footprint, where we're focusing on tracking movement, not identity.
Now, as we walk around the physical world, our phones leave a sort of digital shadow. And this is anchored by what's called a mobile advertising ID, or a MAID. Now, as you probably already know, this is a completely anonymous identifier. I mean, strictly anonymous. There is zero personally identifiable information here. Absolutely no names, no email addresses, no phone numbers. It quite literally just represents a device and its observed movement patterns. We are tracking the journey itself, not the specific individual taking it.
And the sheer scale of this data, it is absolutely staggering. We are talking about billions of location signals generated all around us every single day. Just think about the life cycle of your phone's morning routine, right? A commute down the highway, a quick 5-minute stop for coffee, walking into the office building. That alone instantly generates multiple pings within an hour. Now multiply that by every active device out there navigating homes, airports, sporting venues, and shopping centers. It's just this massive, continuously flowing river of data reflecting how society actually operates in physical space.
All right, moving to Section 2, making sense of signals and figuring out how to actually find the story hidden in all that data.
Because let's face it, having billions of raw data points is practically useless without any context. It's just noise. That's where Mapcite's proprietary SIDX superindex technology comes in. It acts almost like a master detective, analyzing this chaotic sea of data through 3 really distinct steps. First, it identifies exactly where devices are spending their time. Second, it measures the frequency of those visits. So is this a random one-off trip or a recurring habit? And third, it calculates dwell time, measuring precisely how long the device actually stayed there. By crunching location, frequency, and dwell time, SIDX extracts highly reliable behavioral patterns.
So, the crucial point here is that one single, isolated footprint doesn't give you the full picture. If your phone pings once at a golf course, that doesn't definitively mean you're a golfer, right? You might have just been driving past or maybe attending a wedding reception there. The true power comes from combining thousands of observations over time. When you seamlessly layer these signals, the background noise just fades away. A crystal clear picture emerges, revealing where a device likely resides, where it commutes for work, and the physical brands it genuinely engages with on a regular basis.
And when SIDX maps these patterns out, that raw data transforms into some seriously accurate lifestyle indicators. We're talking validated physical activity that clearly identifies regular fast food visitors, dedicated golfers, frequent travelers hitting the airports, or luxury shoppers. It pinpoints vehicle owners, diehard sports fans, and property investors. And remember, this isn't based on some internet survey where someone aspirationally checked a box. This is verified by actual repetitive physical action.
Which brings us to Section 3, from data to action. This is all about activating these real-world audiences. Once these behavioral profiles are built out, they get grouped into these massive, actionable segments spanning anywhere from thousands to literally millions of devices. We can build incredibly precise audiences around virtually any real-world activity. You can identify devices that frequently visit competitor stores, new vehicle owners, home movers, or affluent households. It also lets us build audiences of genuine gym members who actually show up and scan in multiple times a week, as opposed to the regular pub and club patrons. It's kind of the perfect, funny contrast between the healthy interest people claim to have online and their undeniable actual daily habits.
Let's move to and see how this builds out into the real world. These validated audiences don't just sit collecting dust in the database. They are seamlessly activated across major platforms. Brands can reach these exact consumers exactly where they spend their digital time, across Meta, Google, YouTube, programmatic display, connected TV, and even digital out-of-home networks. You are reaching the right people digitally, but it's based entirely on their validated physical footprint.
And that leads us into Section 4, the new marketing paradigm, where actions finally beat words.
Now, this paradigm shift fundamentally changes marketing.
But I want to be super clear here. Its entire architecture relies heavily on fiercely protecting user anonymity. Mapcite operates strictly using privacy-compliant advertising identifiers. Like we touched on earlier, absolutely no personally identifiable information is used whatsoever. These audiences are heavily aggregated and anonymized, built exclusively for overarching analytical scale and marketing purposes, never for tracking individual people. It is foundational privacy compliance by design.
And this brilliantly illustrates the massive philosophical shift we're looking at here. Traditional marketing leans on a lot of guesswork, right? Targeting people based on who they claim to be through outdated surveys and carefully curated digital profiles. Mapcite, conversely, targets based on actual real-world physical behavior. By marrying billions of location signals with that SiteX superindex technology, organizations can finally identify and engage their most valuable audiences with the unprecedented precision of actual behavior.
So, to wrap up this explainer, we've seen how tracking real-world movement completely revolutionizes our understanding of consumer behavior. We are shifting the focus from the fiction of the internet to the undeniable truth of physical action, which leaves me with one final, pretty provocative question for you to ponder as you go about your day today. If your location data tells the absolute truth, what story is it telling about you? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I'll catch you next time.